This is, this is definitely a little less personal. It still is a story. So, Michael and Andrew. So I'd like to tell you, if my clicker will work properly, a story about a coach that I worked with a few years ago. So for this purpose, we will call him Andrew. Now, he had just moved to work with another team in the same organization, and he didn't really know anyone in this team. But at first sight, they seemed kind of happy. And that was until he opened his mouth. At which point, I can introduce you to this guy. So we're going to call him Michael, okay? So Michael would challenge everything that Andrew did, everything Andrew suggested. One day, he said to the team, guys, maybe we could just experiment with pairing. What I'd like you to do is just try pairing for 2 hours with anyone on any task over the next 2 weeks. And when we get into the retrospective, we can discuss our experiences. So, Michael wasn't really happy about this. He said he didn't want to do any damn pairing. He just wanted to get on with his real work. He was so busy, he didn't have time to do any of this, unlike the rest of the team, who apparently had endless amounts of time to do all of this shit. This scene was repeated every single time Andrew suggested anything. Any time the team seemed to be ever so slightly sympathetic towards one of Andrew's suggestions, Michael would just blow up. Andrew had not seen anything like it. 1 month in, and Andrew was broken. He couldn't see that Michael wasn't only affecting him, the rest of the team had also mentioned how his behavior was affecting them. So he spoke to Michael's manager, but apparently Michael knows the mainframe systems better than anybody else. I mean, for goodness sakes, we couldn't possibly do without him. What on earth would we do? And anyway, you're the people person. Isn't this what you're meant to fix? So that didn't go very well. So Michael, maybe with some amount of desperation, decided to call me. I'd been working with Andrew even. I did this the last time I did it. I'd been working with Andrew about 6 months prior with a different team. And he gives me a call. So, hi, Andrew. It's been a while. How's it going? Well, did you ever work with anyone in the AOP team? No, I was with the PAP team. Are you working with AOP now? Yeah, for about a month. It's been interesting. Oh, so is that why you're calling? There's this guy. So, don't get me wrong. I mean, I didn't know Andrew that well, but he was a nice enough guy, but I really didn't expect him to call me at 5:30 on a Thursday evening for dating advice. Oh, I said tentatively. He just keeps pushing and pushing. So now I'm getting really quite concerned at this point. It just doesn't matter what I do. Anything I suggest, he just blows up. He's shouting. The other day, he just started storming out of a retrospective because I asked him to go and join the circle. I'm trying to be patient, but I just don't know what to do. So on one hand, I'm kind of relieved, and on the other hand, I really had no idea what to even begin to suggest. So is anyone else aware of his behavior? Well, everyone's aware of his behavior, but he apparently knows too much, so everyone treats him with kid gloves. And you, how do you treat him? Well, obviously, I just cower in the corner sobbing into my Post-it notes. I'd no idea. I just freeze. I mean, I'm used to being challenged, but this is just something else altogether. So, dare I ask, have you spoken to him about his behavior? So Andrew paused. So he knew that I tried to have as regular as it's possible one-to-ones with any of the teams that I'm working with. He knew that that's something that I did, and it was something that he did with the previous team that we co-coached. You know I haven't had a one-to-one with him. I mean, for goodness sakes, I mean, it's terrifying enough being in public with him. I mean, he'd probably punch me if I was on my own. All right, so short of actual physical violence, what actually scares you about that meeting? I don't know. It's like, I just want to say, you've got a shitty attitude, please fix yourself. Is that really what you want to say? Well, no. Of course it's not what I want to say. It's just, I mean, what the hell else is there to say? All right, so maybe you could try this. So the following day, Andrew asked Michael to have a 20-minute one-to-one with him. And after Michael moaned about how many meetings he had, about how busy he was, about how Andrew just seemed to be adding to his workload all the time, he agreed. And Michael stepped into this small 4-person meeting room with this big window that overlooked the car park and sat down. And then, very, very slowly, poured himself a glass of water, as if trying to make it take as long as possible. And then looked up at Andrew. Thanks so much for taking the time to speak to me, Andrew said. I know how busy you are, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. Michael just nodded and gave Andrew a look that said, get on with it then. Andrew ignored the look and continued. Look, so I've been working with your team for nearly a month now, and I can see how much you're struggling with some of the changes that the team are experimenting with. I just want you to know that I'm here, and if there's anything at all I can do to help make this easier for you. Michael just stared at Andrew with a blank expression. No, I think I'm all right. Well, look, don't let me hold you up any longer. Look, and thanks so much again for taking the time out. Michael just awkwardly shuffled out of the room. So, the following Monday, Andrew arrived in late from a dentist appointment, and he walks through the big double doors in the meeting room, and sat in front of him, Michael is pairing with one of the other engineers, Jenny. Andrew tiptoes round them as if not to break the spell, and wonders to one of the other engineers, what on earth is going on with Andrew, Michael and Jenny? We have no idea, he says, in shock. In the stand-up, Jenny said she had some problems deploying a microservice, and Michael just went, oh, I was doing that the other day, why don't we pair? We are all as shocked as you. Jenny was terrified. And they've been doing that all morning. So what on earth happened here? I met up with Andrew about 6 months later for lunch, and he said that Michael was still a cynical bastard. He said that he questioned pretty much everything, and he still really didn't get all of this agile bullshit. But he was engaging, and he was changing, and he was collaborating. The thing is that Andrew chose to connect with Michael and see him and not judge him. I think we always have two options to say, I see you're struggling, or I see you're an asshole. And thankfully, Andrew chose the former. I think that many, many times we choose to judge, maybe just subconsciously. And if you find yourself judging someone, then you remove any possibility of actually connecting with that person. Because you're not really seeing them. You're seeing your assessment of them, your judgment of them, your evaluation of them. Remember, everyone is doing the best they can do, given what they know today, the skills and resources available, and the situation at hand. So, you're stood at the top of a cliff and you're looking down at someone climbing up to you. Suddenly they slip and they fall and they grab up to try and reach a rock. They're staring up at you, hanging on. Are you going to say, try harder? Or are you going to reach out a hand? Thank you very much.